Welcome to Tennessee Buck Outdoors. Want some popcorn? Today we're going to be talking about cookbooks. Do you look them up on the internet? Do you watch them on YouTube? Or do you have an old-fashioned cookbook? We'll talk about it just here in a bit, so stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. I was just looking at my cookbooks, and here is a recipe for a grilled lemon buttered chicken. Chicken breast and sour cream. Anyway, the reason I was looking at my cookbooks is because I was trying to figure out what I want to do next. I'm wanting to do something Dutch oven, but then I got around all my cookbooks and I got lost, because I love to collect cookbooks, especially some like this one right here. I go to the antique store, I'll look at cookbooks. If you'll notice, I don't think you can see it, but a lot of these are handwritten. And some of these have actually got where people have bought them and added their own little notes to whatever they was making. Like, instead of saying, you know, 1 tablespoon of this, it's got like 3 teaspoons. So I didn't know I had that many cookbooks. Now I have bought some. This one is really about deep frying. It's the ultimate turkey fryer, but it's got it from apples to zucchini on how to deep fry some of this stuff. Another one of these is Stephen, I can't even pronounce his last name, but it's Barbecue USA. He really goes into depth on the history of the barbecues, the different regions. Here's a pineapple ginger lamb kebab. But he also talks about the Memphis barbecue, and of course he talks about Leonard's. Leonard's in Memphis is awesome. Their ribs, I mean, they got them wet and they got them dry, but the dry is the best. I mean, it's just freaking awesome. It also talks about barbecue sauce. It talks about different rubs that you can make. Even during the Civil War, they talked about the Tennessee militia would make up their own rubs for some of the meat, you know, if they had squirrel or whatever. Now this right here is one thing I learned was from a friend of mine, especially when it comes to a smoker. Write down everything you do. What time you start the fire, what time is the temperature, what time to get up. Every 30 minutes or so you write down what the temperature is on that meat. This right here was baby back ribs, and I put down the temperatures. On a brisket, I will write down what the temperature is, but I also have a probe in the meat. That way I can write down what the internal temperature of the meat is also. So it's that way when you want to go back to it, you can. I had somebody to complain about what he tried in one of my recipes in the electric smoker, and it didn't do what he said it would do. But it could have been maybe temperature. The temperature might be off a little bit on his smoker, elevation. It could have been anything. But you have to play with your tools to get to know them. But anyway, yeah, I was looking around some of these books. Now, the question was, do you go on the internet? Do you go to find your recipes on YouTube or printed? or do you go to the old-fashioned cookbook, or maybe hand-me-downs? My mom used to have a index card box full of recipes. Of course, you had to go through them, and she had her favorites, and of course, they was my favorites. On my Dutch oven right here, I started my own book on Dutch oven. If I come up with a recipe, or if I see one on the internet, or like this book right here, it might be a little. Boy Scouts of America, a friend of mine who's a scoutmaster, give me that. Lodge has got their own little book. You can go online, and if it's still available, Byron's Dutch Oven Recipes. Here's a sweet potato and onion casserole. Sweet potato and onions that I was wanting to do that I haven't done yet, but I printed it off. And of course, if you're into Dutch oven cooking, and I know some people's ask about, about your coals. Well, how many do I put on top? How many do I put on bottom? If you'll type in, Google it, cast iron Dutch oven baking temperature chart, you'll come up with that right there. Let's say we got a 10-inch and we want 350 degrees, because I like to basically try to keep the same temperature, not unless the recipe says different. But 14 coals on top, 7 coals on the bottom. That's for a 10-inch. So you can, and remember, a Dutch oven is the same thing as an oven. You just got to control the temperature all the way around it. Another one of my favorite books is when I worked at GE, the Quality Deer Hunter Club Cookbook. And there's a couple of recipes in here that I've already done, and I like to do them. One of them is a chocolate oatmeal cookie. The other one is a Mississippi mud cake. So I guess my question is again, which one do you prefer? Either or, whatever fits for you. I think I've told you before, one of the reasons that I started filming them was because a friend of mine, her daughter, big tomboy, she didn't like to cook. She liked to play with the horses out in the woods, four-wheeling, all the whole 9 yards. Well, she went to college, found her a boyfriend, wanted to learn how to cook. So instead of me having to try to write everything down for her, they wanted me to show her. I did a video, sent it to her. She fixed it. Everything worked out great. That's when I first started. That was over 10 years ago. And here, I think within the past year, I started, almost a year, putting them on YouTube. So I will find me a recipe and we will fix it. But I was just wondering, because I see all you people on YouTube with these recipes, and sometimes I wonder if it was from your family, if it was something you saw on YouTube, on the internet. But I want to sit down. I'm going to enjoy my popcorn. Of course, I got to have my readers. And I am going to enjoy reading some of these recipes. So I hope I didn't ramble too far. I might have went off into left field. If I did, that's fine. I used to play left field. But subscribe, hit the like, leave a comment, a nice comment, please. I've already had enough people leave me bad comments. And by the way, those people that have stood up for me, thank you very much. God bless you. You guys just don't know how much you mean to me. Ring the bell and do a little dance. But the boss is over here asleep on the floor. I'm Jeff with Tennessee Buck Outdoors, and we'll see you next time. Sure you don't want some popcorn?